Hi, boys and girls. Mrs. Sadowski here with a little more of Love That Dog. So let's see what poem we have in store today. It's The Pasture by Robert Frost. Remember, we read another one of Robert Frost's poems earlier in this book when we were looking back. So it was not the first poem that we did, but the second poem. And remember, Robert Frost likes to organize his in stanzas. Okay, we don't call them paragraphs, we call them stanzas. And he likes to write about nature. So here we go with The Pasture. I'm going out to clean the pasture spring. I'll only stop to rake the leaves away, and then wait to watch the water clear, I may. I shan't be gone long. You come too. I'm going out to fetch the little calf that's standing by the mother. It's so young, it totters when she licks it with her tongue. I shan't be gone long. You come too. Sounds to me like maybe they're at a farm. You know, they've got to go do some chores like raking up leaves, and they want to see the water clear, so maybe they're trying to get leaves away from the water trough or something, or a little stream maybe that runs through the pasture. You know, pasture would be like a wide open field, kind of like a meadow, and they've got a little calf with a cow. So maybe it's a farmer doing his chores, and he's inviting someone to come along, right? You come too. He's not going to be gone long, so it's not going to take a long time. So come on with him. But he's doing more than one thing. When I look at this poem, I don't see any alliteration going on. I don't see that repetition of sound at the start of the words. And I don't see any of the similes either that we were talking about yesterday. But I do notice a rhyming pattern. I notice that the second and third line of both stanzas rhyme. So this would be an A, B, B, C kind of rhyming pattern. So that's kind of cool. There are some poems that rhyme, others do not. Well, I think by now you're starting to notice the poetry can kind of be anything. So let's see what Jack's reaction is to The Pasture. January 10th. I really did not get the pasture poem you read today. I mean, somebody's going out to the pasture to clean the spring and to get the little tottery calf while he's out there. And he isn't going to be gone long, and he wants you. Who is you to come too? I mean, really. And you said that Mr. Robert Frost, who wrote about the pasture, was also the one who wrote about those snowy woods and the miles to go before he sleeps. Well, I think Mr. Robert Frost has a little too much time on his hands. Do you agree with Jack? Do you not get the nature poems either? Do you think Mr. Robert Frost has too much time on his hands? Or do you think, no, he just likes to enjoy the things he sees around him? It's okay to have different opinions on the poems. January 17th. Remember the wheelbarrow poem you read the first week of school? Maybe the wheelbarrow poet was just making a picture with words, and someone else, like maybe his teacher, typed it up, and then people thought it was a poem because it looked like one typed up like that. Maybe. And maybe that's the same that happened with Mr. Robert Frost. Maybe he was just making pictures with words about the snowy woods and the pasture, and his teacher typed them up, and they looked like poems, so people thought they were poems. Like how you did with the blue car things and reading the small poem thing on the board. Typed up, they look like poems, and the other kids are looking at them, and they think they really are poems, and they are all saying, who wrote that? What do you guys think? If you just put words on paper and somebody types it, does that turn it into a poem? I guess it could. Depends on whether you wanted it to be a poem or not, or whether else somebody thought it looked like a poem. Poetry has so many different forms. It really can take a lot of different shapes. And unless you're trying to write a specific style of poetry, there aren't many rules. Let's check out January 24th. We were going for a drive, and my father said, we won't be gone long. You come too. And so I went, and we drove and drove until we stopped at a red brick building with a sign in blue letters. Animal Protection Shelter. And inside, we walked down a large cement path, past cages with all kinds of dogs, big and small, fat and skinny, some of them hiding in the corner, but most of them barking, and jumping up against the wire cage as we walked past, as if they were saying, me, choose me, I'm the best one. And that's where we saw the yellow dog, standing against the cage with his paws curled around the wire, and his long red tongue hanging out, and his black eyes looking a little sad, and his long tail wagging, as if he were saying, me, choose me. And we did. We chose him. And in the car, he put his head against my chest and wrapped his paws around my arm, as if he were saying, thank you. And the other dogs in the cages get killed dead if nobody chooses them. Whoa! It went from like this happy, like, oh, we're getting a dog, yay, to poor other ones, they get killed. Guess it was a kill shelter. Sounds to me like he's describing his experience of choosing his yellow dog, and he's writing it in a poem style. January 31st. Yes, you can type up what I wrote about my yellow dog, but leave off the part about the other dogs getting killed dead, because that's too sad. And don't put my name on it, please. And maybe it would look good on yellow paper. And maybe the title should be, You Come Too. So again, notice he's using some phrases, he's using some of the styles of some of the other poems he's seen, but yet these are his words, his thoughts, and they all have meaning to him. February 7th. Yes, it looks good on yellow paper, but you forgot, again, to leave more space between the lines, like I did when I wrote it. That's okay, though. Notice he's starting to take a lot of ownership over his own writing. He doesn't want his name on it yet. He's not ready for the rest of the class to know that those are his words. But it matters to him the way it looks. He's starting to tell his teacher, I want this color paper, and it's supposed to be spaced just so. That's a sign that he's proud of his work, and he is starting to take that ownership. And that's what we hope that you will do, boys and girls. As you're writing your poems, Mr. Ford, Mrs. Jansen, and myself, we want you to take ownership of them. We want you to say, hey, this is my work, and we want you to be proud of it. So let's take a look at the kind of poem that you will write today. We were talking yesterday about similes, where we use like or as to compare two things. Today you're going to do a sensory poem with sensory poetry. And basically, sensory poetry is a lot like it sounds. It uses all 5 of your senses. So your hearing, your sight, your taste, your touch, and your smell. Each line of a sensory poem answers the following questions. What color? What does it taste like? What does it smell like? What does it look like? What does it sound like? And what does it feel like? So if you look at our sample, the topic is happiness. Happiness is yellow. Notice they've given their thing, they chose a noun, something, happiness is a thing, and they've given it a color. Happiness is yellow. The next line, it tastes like chocolate-covered strawberries. It smells like flowers in a garden. It looks like ice cream with red cherries and caramel topping. It sounds like the laughter of children playing. It makes me feel like a bird flying high in the sky. Notice they took a feeling, which is a thing, they've given it color, and then they used a whole bunch of similes using the 5 senses to come up with this poem. You're going to be doing the same kind of thing. On the next page, which you'll see right here, you can change your color, and then you can type in the box, go ahead and, type whatever title you want. So depending on your topic, like you could use another word. They picked happiness. If you want to do happiness and say what happiness means to you, like for me, if I were to do happiness, I would pick a totally different color. I would go with blue. Actually, I'd probably choose turquoise. For those of you who are in my class, you know what I'm talking about. I love turquoise blue. It's just something about that tealy blue, turquoisey blue. Oh, love it. Reminds me of the beach. So I could write about that. Or I could, instead of using happiness, I could write about the beach. And I could totally talk about what color I assimilate with the beach. What reminds me of a beach? And then I could go from there. I could talk about a forest and the things that I see in a forest and what I might hear and all of that. So I could go with a person if there's a person I want to write about. Keeping in mind, if you choose a person, then you need to be kind in your words, okay? But you create whatever kind of feeling you want in your poems. They can be funny, they can be sad. Do something that matters to you. But again, choose kind words if we're going to choose a person. So if I model this, I might go with, oops, apparently I have to get rid of the add text here. So I could title this The Forest. And I could, down here, where it says add text here, I could just type The Forest. Hi, Mrs. Sadowski. I could skip a couple lines and I could say, the forest is green. Because it is green. I think of a forest, that's what I picture. Now, I don't remember what the next thing is. I know I need a color, but what's the next question? What does it taste like? It tastes like, what forest tastes like? Something cool and refreshing. Ooh, like cucumber water on a hot day. Okay, so I've got a taste. Now what do I need? What does it smell like? Oh, what does it remind me of? Why can't I get into my textbooks? There we go. It smells like, what do we think it smells like? It smells like grass after a spring shower. And that fresh smell. What else could I do? Let's see. What does it, I have taste, I have smell. What does it look like? It looks like a postcard. No. It looks like a, what does a forest look like to me? And notice, see, I'm a teacher. You would think, oh, she can just do a poem. Sometimes it takes a little while. And even after I write this, I might want to change my mind when I'm all done. So let's see. It looks like a, I like all the different colors in a forest. The way they contrast. It looks like a puzzle. Perfectly placed together. Okay. What does it sound like? What does a forest sound like? It sounds like, what do I think of? It sounds like, some kind of quiet, but yet there are sounds. It sounds like animals just waking up for the first time. And then, what does it feel like? forest to me? What would a forest feel like? It feels like, let's see, the forest is green. It tastes like cucumber water on a hot day. It smells like the grass after a spring shower. It looks like a puzzle perfectly placed together. It sounds like animals just waking up for the first time. It feels like, I need a feeling word. What does a forest feel like to me? It feels like a, I know, I'm not saying my hands in the wrong place on the keyboard. It feels like a treasure waiting to be discovered. All right. Now, I didn't put any punctuation at the end of mine. They didn't put any punctuation because, again, it's a poem. And I'm doing it in one stanza because all my lines are together. So this is my poem. And I can, like I said, I can change it. I can do it however I want. So when you get yours, boys and girls, it's going to say, type here. You're going to go for it. Again, if you want to change the colors, I could change my colors. I might want to make this a shade of green. It's up to you how you do it. But again, pick your topic. You can go back to the example. It has the questions here, or you've got these things right here to kind of help guide you. And we can't wait to see what your poems look like. Good luck, boys and girls.